Yeah.
You showed up at a bad time.
The Emperor's envoy. Inquisitor Ludwig said you might be heading this way. Captain Alfair of the Steel Garrote. If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of Animancy. While they theorize and do nothing, the sickness spreads. But worry not, envoy. The Steel Garrote will be ready to ensure the safety of Adiran interests when the time comes. We all have our part to play, envoy. Until later.
She's as subtle as a broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of Solace?
Come on. My invention
Jata, what's the meaning of this?
Look at this crop. How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? In that case, you're right on time.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Tempers are high, but I don't see any assassins. Yet.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion. Very well. I hope you remember that behind these walls, your influence has limits.
I'm sure he didn't come all this way just to challenge your authority. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now, our farms. Then there's no time to waste arguing with bureaucrats.
I like her already.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the Dream Scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust Animancy as his father did. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Must be nice that all the arguing isn't about you, for once.
I'm just trying to stop Chiata from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. Are you going to tell him about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. Really? Unexpected from an Adiran. But how could I refuse an offer like that? Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Chiata.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Giatta Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Messiverno.
Banished?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest Animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Giatta is an outcast. Perhaps, but I can't just let her continue to poison the minds of my Animancers.
They aren't your Animancers. Your father understood that.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Messiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west, by the workshop.
Another mouth to feed. Maybe we'll need to let Kai hunt more after all.
As I had planned. I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giatta, some manners, if you please.
I thought she was being polite.
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. I can think of one. He's an entitled little worm who can't stand to be proven wrong.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Messiverno, I'm hardly even an Animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone.
I wish I could take credit for Giatta's stubbornness, but she learned that on her own.
Thanks, old man. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want. On my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dream Scourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see an Adiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of Animancers. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days. Wouldn't that be a coincidence? I only bring it up because Animancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... No, sorry. I don't know what came over me. I just realized this is the end. I have to leave your Messiverno. Forever. As much as I would love that, we're already out of time. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the Animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. Glad to hear it. Your education should come in handy. Manto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fjord. Each of them owes me a favor, Drop my name, and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Envoy, research assistant. Who knew?
Careful, or we'll get thrown out of the pub. We're all ready. Ado, welcome to my fine establishment. Me. When did that happen?
Confounded machine. Oh, I heard there was a new arrival, but I didn't expect a godlike. Welcome to our modest workshop. Giada, what a loss. I owe that young woman more than I could ever repay. Unfortunately, I cannot do a lick of research while my equipment is underpowered and overworked. Ha! A novel idea, that. What I need is a stronger power source. Grimoires can hold intense power, but not for long. Besides, grimoires require a wizard to draw in essence. It's too dangerous at this scale. Oh, wait. One of our rangers reported that an Adragon recently died in a western grove. Indeed, but that well is almost dry. I need more. An Adragon's heart can hold an immense amount of essence. The grove is to the west, across the chasm. You can't miss it. The rangers say a Delamgan queen holds court there. You may be able to retrieve it without violence, but most Delamgan in these parts are hostile to Keith. So you can understand why none of us went rushing over there to find it when we heard the Adragon had died. Still, Delamgan queens can be reasoned with, so if you want to get the heart peacefully, try not to kill her guards. Do be careful. Emerald Stair is not itself these days.
Well, let's go. That Atragon's heart isn't gonna yank itself out.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment. Me.
Why is it somehow worse when the Revenants aren't trying to kill you?
Egg God? I'd offer to shake your hand, but I've been elbow deep in Beatrice all day. Beatrice, you know, the one with her viscera on display? As you can see, this is my reanimated corpse farm.
Oh, and what do you use for fertilizer? Other corpses?
I'm trying to demonstrate the value of undead labor. But of course, nothing is ever that simple. What am I supposed to do? Just let them decompose? Reanimated corpses are the future of manual labor. Cost-effective, low maintenance, and very friendly. Now, Beatrice, she's being a real problem, if you can believe it. Would you be a dear and reach into her guts? Feel around for anything that doesn't belong. Giata Castel wants my professional opinion. What an honor. I have a few theories, but no firm conclusions. I have to ask, is it true? Did Vidaro kick her out of town? He's a bigger fool than I thought. Very well. I'll tell you what I know about the Dream Scourge. But first, I need some help around the farm. I'm up to my ears in chores around here, and the Revenants can only do so much. They can't do complicated tasks, you see. Anyway, I'm afraid the time has come to put down poor Silvo. Silvo is one of my Revenants. My oldest, my favorite, and the pride of my flock. Someone needs to put the poor fellow out to pasture. And I just don't have the heart to do it myself.
Well, it's already dead. That's the hard part done right there.
When a revenant goes bad, there's only one option. Final death. And poor Silvo's time has come. Thank you for understanding. You can find Silvo in the barn. He's blocked the door somehow, but the window should be open. Just be gentle with him. He's a good boy.
So, we're killing a revenant then? She just couldn't come out and say that?
And this is why I don't take pets.
Yeah.
The great mystery.
Remy, look what I found. A genuine godlike.
Do you think they can hear us?
Let's find out. Hello, me, Yvette. You friend? Remy, take a note. Fluent speech and upright posture show marks of sophistication in the endangered godlike. We heard that Giada partnered up with an outsider, but I had no idea you were a godlike. Fascinating.
I suppose we owe her a favor. Or two.
Giata must have sent you to be our test subject. She knows how we adore your kind. Satisfy our curiosity and we'll give you everything Giata needs to finish her research. Deal?
Let's begin the examination. If you could choose, who or what would you be in your next life? Next time you go around the wheel, you might not get so lucky.
Who wouldn't? My turn. Some would call you blessed. Others would call you cursed. The fact remains, you were touched by the gods. Wouldn't you say that you owe something to the rest of us? So, you believe we need your help. Interesting.
Oh, I thought of another. We all know that godlike can't reproduce. How do you plan on leaving a legacy after you're gone? Very optimistic, aren't we? I think that covers everything. Thank you for that brilliant insight, godlike. You're a credit to your dwindling kind.
So, Giata wants to know all about the Dream Scourge, yes? Such has been her research of late. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
The Dream Scourge is proof that an unprecedented metaphysical disaster can take place at any time.
Oh, that's a load off my mind. Sure beats not constantly worrying about the future.
How's that good news?
Giata will be interested to learn that the Dream Scourge cannot just be studied in a lab. Its nature is wild, so it has to be studied in the wild. Our machines and experiments would meddle with it too much.
And like anything affecting the soul, it must be connected to essence. Thus, if she wishes to discover more about the Dream Scourge, a pillar of Adra would be a good place to start.
Precisely. A godlike and a scholar, too. Incredible.
Indeed. Just as Adra channels essence, so too may it provide a key to discovering more about the Dream Scourge.
Not that we'd ever be interested in such research, of course. How droll. An entity, you say? If this entity is your patron, that's all perfectly natural. But if it's something else, with enough essence and a capable Animancer, perhaps you could trace this tether back to its source.
Right, and with a little fresh soccer, you can follow an ogre back to its lair. Still wouldn't recommend it.
Just be careful that your tether doesn't snap back and kill you in the process.
Now that we've researched the mind of a godlike, the next step is anatomy. But we've taken enough of your time. Farewell. Did you
Hurry,
hear that Giada
before they change
was
their
sent
minds.
into exile?
Ugh, I might have dozed off there for a bit. Were any of those words the ones we needed?
Got them all.
My farmhands are very affectionate. Feel free to pet them if you like. Poor Silvo. He was a bright young revenant, but a very old man. Thank you for giving him peace. So, the Dream Scourge. I've been keeping an eye on the readings from my fields. This plague, as we know it, is a recent development. But I believe whatever causes it is older by far. Maybe even as old as the living lands. The exotic plants and animals, the twisted landscape, the Dream Scourge. They have a common ancestor. There's something about the essence in the living lands that's different from anywhere else I've seen. And end up like Giata? No, thank you. The corpses, they need me. Not to get too superstitious, but in these troubled times, the arrival of a godlike is no coincidence. You are meant to be here. Toward what end, only you can say. Well, I'm happy to give her some good news for a change. You and Giata are going to shake things up. As for me, I'll be keeping a close eye on my flock.
Oh, and thank you for the nightmare fuel. I really have been...
That's one for us.
Maybe we don't go inside the ancient creepy tower. Just a thought? Trail goes through the ravine and into the glade. Careful where you step.
Here we go! Here they come! To your left!
Look at that. After you, envoy.
Well done!
Think the Delimgon did all that? Or maybe the land itself?
Yeah.
Nice shot! Watch yourself.
You may approach. A welcome visitor. It has been so long since one of your kind has walked in this grove. I mean one from the land, your kind. But why have you come here? A curious thing for Kith to want. Even one as special as you. It belonged to one who tended this grove for longer than I have been here. Sickness changed them, as it has recently changed so many creatures in these woods. It no longer recognized us as their kin. We had to stop them before their madness damaged the land. When we become enemies of the land, it goes against our nature. We had no choice. But it is over now. All that remains is their heart. Our kind has no need for such remembrances. It would cause us no pain to part with it. But wait. No. No! So many dead. So many of my kin are dead by your hand. The time for words has passed.
Let's go. That's what you got! We'll show up. Good fighting.
Yeah.
One for you! Arms up! Show me what you got! Nice work.
Ado, welcome to the
For an Adiran, you're very resourceful, and a more than capable companion for poor Giada. Very few, save for old Quilici, and he's like a father. Now that I've got the heart, my thirsty invention will drink deeply of its essence. All that's left to do is calibrate it. First things first, let's have a look at your soul. I'm going to ask some questions to induce a metaphysical quiver. No, not to worry, just testing your reflexes. Let's start with an easy one. You wake up on a beach, looking up into the sun. Your hands are covered in blood. All right. Let's try some word association. Tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Pendulum. Chrysalis.
The spark ignites a flame. An idea ignites a war.
Hello? You still with me? In that case, let's stop it before I do any lasting damage. Hey, let's go over your results. Your soul has a fascinating internal structure. Perfectly balanced. An artist couldn't have made it better. Your godlike nature is a marvel to behold. God, my condolences. Those two are a handful, even for animancers. What I see is something entangled about your soul. An outside presence that both is and isn't a part of you. It's old, dark, and rather tricky to pin down. Very interesting. That would be closer to Giata's area of expertise. I'm sure she'd love to give you a look. Fascinating. Thank you for getting my machine calibrated again. But you came for Giata's theory of the Dream Scourge. Between the two of us, she's on to something. Our farms are in great peril. The essence has been drained from the land, diverted, like the flow of a river. And risk joining her in exile? No. Without this workshop, we have nothing. Regardless, essence doesn't just disappear. It must be going somewhere. All I can tell you is keep looking. You'll find what you're after. As much as I hate giving people bad news, that's all I have. Please give Giata my fondest regards.
Keep looking, huh? I'm getting a bad feeling about what we'll find.
Yeah, I'll be honest. He lost me when he started talking about souls. What did I miss?
I hope you aren't afraid of lightning. Where there's animancy, there's bound to be lightning. Good timing. I'm about ready to get started. So, did you learn anything of particular interest? That's the fun part of metaphysics. Everything is strange, but nothing is new. Look at us. Barely even started, and already we're making progress. Monto's machine is working, Elia will keep an eye on her revenants, and Yvette and Remy are providing us an alibi. Under the circumstances, the two are not so different. I needed those animancers for more than their expertise. Monto's invention nullifies spiritual interference. Having it up and running means we won't get any false signals. Whenever I tap into an Adra pillar, Elia's farmhands tend to get a little bitey. Thanks to you, they won't be a problem. And then there's Yvette and Remy, the governor's eyes and ears. In exchange for privacy, I gave them a test subject. I'd call that a good day's work. Now we just need the right equipment for the job. When my parents died, they left me their life's work. An invention like no other. The phantasmal focus. Exactly. There are many ways of going about it, but my mother's invention will get us quick results. The problem is it's in the basement. I haven't gone down there since the accident. Since they died.
I can't blame you for avoiding a place like that.
I would get it myself, but I'm not ready to face what's down there. The door to the basement is just outside, around the corner. Of course you'll need a key. Please excuse the mess.
That's where her parents died. I'm glad we can spare her from having to go back.
Okay, walking into the basement of an Animancer I just met. Right, feels great. I feel pretty certain that those people aren't supposed to be plants. Gods. We can leave now, right?
Or Giada.
I don't. Anyone know what happened back there?
I think those were Giada's parents, or whatever's left of them.
So they're dead?
You're back. You found it. You actually found my inheritance. Did you see my mother and father? Are they still there? I didn't have the words. All that's really down there is an unhappy memory. One that keeps on growing. My mother had an idea about how to use the essence of the living lands, and it destroyed her. My father. Our family.
I've heard that story too many times. This land takes more than it gives.
So I swore an oath. No one could enter the lab until I understood what happened. I'm on the right track to figuring it out, which is almost as good. Enough about me. Let's worry about you for a change. With the phantasmal focus, I can finally tap directly into the essence of the living lands. I can also use it to smack around anyone who gets in our way. The only thing we're missing now is an Adra pillar, and I know the perfect one. Naku Tedek, the old godless ruin west of Fjord. There should be some equipment waiting for us. Before we head out, let's make the most of our time in Fjord. No telling how long we'll be gone. And I hate to be a problem, but I do my best work in small groups. Chalk it up to performance anxiety. Works for me. This is a good opportunity to cleanse our place of rest. Spiritually, I mean.